Vote counting is underway in Serbia's parliamentary and local elections. The populist Serbian Progressive Party of President Aleksandar Vucic faces a challenge from a pro-Western opposition coalition that came together during months of street protests, triggered by mass shooting attacks in May. Serbs living in Kosovo are also eligible to vote, but tensions between Serbia and Kosovo are making it harder for them.
Boarding a bus in Kosovo to go and vote in an election across the border in Serbia. Thousands of others are making the journey by car. Serbs make up about 5% of Kosovo's population. They used to be able to vote where they lived, with the European Security Organization handling the logistics of transferring the ballots to Serbia. But since early 2022, they were told they would have to travel to Serbia in order to vote there. A decision they say is unfair.
This is a political issue. It's not our issue. This is not right. Elections should be held here. We are also citizens. Why should somebody treat us as second-class citizens? All of us have the right to vote.
This is not right. We deserve to vote where we live. Since the situation is as it is, what can we do?
Relations between Kosovo and Serbia are tense after a recent violent outbreak between Kosovo police and Serbian fighters. The government in the capital, Pristina, has refused to set up polling booths in Kosovo to allow Serbs there to vote at home. And Belgrade has not enforced a request, leaving Kosovo Serbs with no choice but to travel to one of the 4 southern Serbian towns that they are allowed to vote in, and join the long queues to cast their ballots.
Our Brussels bureau chief, Aleksandar Vucic, has been following the elections in Belgrade.
Well, Aleksandar Vucic has managed to successfully impose a narrative that there is no alternative to him on the Serbian political stage when it comes to the economic development of the country. In the last 10 years, his party had significant success building a modern infrastructure and attracting foreign investors. And Vucic also built this image of himself as being the only one capable of maintaining this very difficult diplomatic balancing act between having a good relationship with Russia, which is still popular here in Serbia, and continuing with the country's path towards the European Union. He has not backed the EU sanctions against Russia, and still he is the to-go person for all the EU leaders and representatives of the European Union, and he is using it for domestic goals, of course, and he is maintaining his grip on power also because he is marginalizing opposition figures and bringing the media under his influence and control.
Now, the opposition, as you said, fears the elections also might not be fair. What is your impression on the ground there?
Well, independent election observers that we've been in contact with are very worried. They say that this election, as you mentioned before, is taking place in an atmosphere of intimidation and media bias. President Vucic and especially his party, they got 75% of TV coverage ahead of the election. President Vucic used state resources to convince people to vote for him. He promised one-off payments from the state budgets to pensioners, to students, to people who are unemployed. And today we are becoming more and more reports about voters who got cash for showing that they voted for the ruling party, for people who were threatened to lose their job if they don't vote for the ruling party. We also saw some reports about election observers being attacked. So they are very worried about the atmosphere in which these parliamentary and local elections are taking place.
Aleksandar Vucic there in the Serbian capital, Belgrade. Thank you very much, Aleksandar.